Tell me, your main takeaway from the local elections last week?
Everyone's got a story. Everyone's a winner and everyone's a loser. And to some extent, this is a very muddled set of local elections. It's a set of local elections where the opposition party needed to do really quite well in order to win back what is 4 general election defeats over the last decade plus 2. And then also there's the message that the Conservatives need to deliver, which is that they're retaining seats or indeed building seats on 2018, when these seats were last elected, in the north, in the Red Wall, in the Midlands, these sort of areas. And what did we see, actually? Well, the Labour Party ahead, but perhaps not by ahead as much as they would in order to need to win a general election. On the projected national share of the vote, they were 5 points ahead, which was 35 to 30 of the Conservatives. Now, is that the sort of number that would deliver them a majority? No. It might put them in a fighting chance of cobbling together a government, but at this stage, mid-term, it does seem like it was a bit of an underperformance, although an overperformance in London. So the Labour Party can crow about all of those big historic gains they made in the capital, but the Tory party actually picked up seats in the north, so they can crow about that. And then we get to the Lib Dems and the Greens, who made some historic gains as well, and they are really quite particularly happy. In England, the Greens and the Lib Dems made more gains than Labour did. Labour in England, on net, only making a couple of dozen gains. So really a very mixed picture overall.
And just bring us the latest. Of course, Boris Johnson was under huge pressure under Partygate. Now Keir Starmer is under pressure over having a curry while working in a by-election campaign.
Yes, it sounds incredibly trivial, doesn't it? It's almost peculiar that this has become a big national story. But then we look at what became a big national story with regard to Boris Johnson, or perhaps more peculiarly, Rishi Sunak, who turned up to the cabinet meeting 8 minutes early for a meeting. There happened to be a cake there and they sang happy birthday, and for that he was issued a fixed penalty notice, and for that the leader of the Labour Party called on Rishi Sunak to resign, which means we're looking at an incredibly low bar for dealing with events that may or may not have broken the rules. And there have been a few inconsistencies in the Labour Party's story with what happened in Durham on the 30th of April 2021. Was Angela Rayner there? Well, we now know she was, whereas the Labour Party denied that beforehand. Did the Labour Party go back to work after this meal? Well, the op note that was leaked to the Mail on Sunday over the weekend appeared to show that that dinner was the last thing in the day, and a separate event, a pre-planned event in and of itself. There seems to be more evidence that is coming to light here, and that's what Durham Constabulary are investigating now for the first time. But more than that, it seems that the British public have started paying attention to this story. Today, YouGov have released a poll saying 54% of the British public believe that Keir Starmer either probably or absolutely broke the rules. So that's a majority of Britons now thinking that Keir Starmer is likely a rule breaker.